welcome to another Healthy Dog Eats with Dr. Kaz. And we are at our local farmer's market today. We thought we'd bring you down and kind of show you some of the things that we're looking for. Today we're on a mission for some peaches, some blackberries. What else do we need? We need basil. We're going to make a 4th of July panini, chicken, basil, blackberry, peach. It all kind of all comes together sandwich, right? Are we ready? And we got some really cool ingredients to make cloud bread. I don't know if you've ever heard of cloud bread. It's basically eggs and cream cheese. So we lose all the white flour, get rid of all the white stuff, which isn't good for them, not good for us. So let's go shopping. Let's see what we can find. Come on, Cosmos. Peaches are great cancer fighters. They've got a study that came out of Washington State that said if you eat 3 peaches a day, it helps literally prevent breast cancer. So another thing, awesome for the dogs. That works out perfect, sweetheart. Yep, we're gonna do it today. We're gonna go home and so basil is something that actually helps with arthritis in the dogs. So that's why we're gonna have basil in our chicken and basil and panini or panini sandwich, however it may be. Right, Cosmo? Cosmos, you want to smell? No, we don't eat the basil. We're actually trying to find some blackberries down here today, but we haven't had too much luck because blackberries actually help the immune system for the dogs. So once again, our cancer preventers, cancer fighters, everything we can do for them and us. Plus, today down at the farmer's market, we're working on Cosmos' socialization. So we're gonna get a little training into it. He's not a real big people person. He loves to watch people, but he's one of those kind of dogs that doesn't really want to be petted too much. So we bring him out as much as we can. Once again, that's our lifestyle training. So now we're headed back off to the kitchen and we are going to make our sandwich. So come on back with us. We are back. Thank you for accompanying us to the farmer's market to do our shopping this morning. It was also a great time to work socialization. And Cosmos is a dog that he likes people, but he just doesn't want to be petted. And that's okay, because remember, as we talk about in our training and what we do, I know, baby, I know, I'm telling them all about you. Every dog has a personality. We train to their personality. You are pulling my mic off. I see you, okay? We're gonna be good. I'm telling them about you right now, all right? Because we gotta hurry up and get cooking. So you go ahead and lay down, all right? So every dog has their personality. It's up to us to be able to train them that way, as Mr. Cosmos wants me to get going, because once again, every recipe we do has to have cheese for him. So we're going to get started. I actually got started on the cloud bread, which this will be the bread for our panini. And I figured you didn't want to be listening here in the mixers all the time. So I'm just going to kind of tell you what I did. Basically, the recipe has 4 eggs. So we separate out the 4 eggs. We take half a teaspoon of cream of tartar and mix the egg whites with that. And we beat that into a meringue, stiff peaks. And then we take the other portion and we take 2 ounces of cream cheese. And we beat that. And a little tip for you is it's easier to actually use the whip than it is to use the paddle if you've got a stand mixer. It seems to break up the cream cheese a little bit better. So then you add in the 4 egg yolks, but the key is one at a time. What you do is you want to add one in, incorporate it, add another. That's also a great tip if you ever make cheesecake. Anytime you add eggs into cream cheese, always do it one at a time because it adds a little bit of airflow to it and it helps like raise better, taste better, whatever you want to call it. Then I added in some fresh basil. I just chiffonade that up and put that in. I put in just a pinch of garlic powder, and then I put in, maybe it was about half a teaspoon of oregano. So what we're going to do now is we are gently going to fold our egg whites into our egg yolks. Okay, we're going to bring it all in first out of the bowl. And it actually, well, for me, I have a bunch of mixers, so from always cooking and having the bakery and so forth. So I have the luckiness of having a bunch of the stand mixer bowls that fit the 6-quart mixers. But if you don't have it, just kind of, work with it. You can use a hand mixer too. It's just kind of a little bit more of a pain in the butt. So we will put this down here. And what you're going to do is you're going to gently fold. Now, when a fold is just a roll over. So all you're doing is roll over, because what you want to do is you don't want to deflate our meringue. So we just want to incorporate this as easy as possible. And I just always just kind of go around. And don't worry about how fast it is, how long it takes. You just want to make sure that you incorporate it well with the least amount of deflating. Another tip with this is it's really nice to have your eggs at room temperature because they beat up better. The meringue does better, the egg yolks do better. If you don't have time to set them at room temperature, all you can do would be basically just place them in a bowl of warm water and just let them sit out there. So you can see we're slowly starting to incorporate. And sometimes I go one way, sometimes I go the other way. Sometimes I get impatient. And then I stir like I told you not to stir. But it's funny because patience, I am probably like the most impatient person, but yet with the dogs, it just kind of comes very, very easily. All right, so now we have this all together, very mixed up very well. Put this down here. And I'm going to use my pizza screens for this again because actually it works well in the oven that we have down here. I can get both pans in, but you can use a plain, sheet pan, whatever it is. You want to put your parchment paper on. This isn't too good of a circle. I just didn't want to waste it. And what we're going to do is we're going to make, hopefully we should get 10 out of this, depending on how our egg whites went through. And we're going to put 5 on each tray. We're going to use a third of a We're going to put a third of a cup. So this is actually only a quarter, so I'm going to give it just a little bit taller, roughly about that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place them on here, and I'm going to spread them out because I'm going to actually kind of flatten them out, make little circles like little discs, because this is going to be the bread for our panini sandwich. So let's stick one there. And like I said, don't forget, because we're going to try to put 5 on each. And we're going to try to get them going around in a circle. So there's that. And let's get our 5 on this one. And then I'm going, well, this actually takes 30 minutes to cook. But we are going to cook our chicken at the same time. And I'm going to show you an awesome way to cook the chicken for your dog. Because if you remember, like we talked about in one of our other episodes, we want to keep the nutrients in the chicken. So basically what we want to do is we want to always have to boil it. Well, boiling tastes kind of like crap. Not much flavor into it because you kind of get it all out. But it's very important if we're going to be cooking and doing this for our dogs for help for the cancer, is that we do make sure that we have, we're not taking all the nutrients by grilling or baking or so forth. So I've got a really great way that's going to taste great for you. We're actually going to let the chicken cook in its own broth. And we'll go through that. Now this you can use a spatula, you can use a spoon. A lot of times I use a spoon and just kind of flatten it out. I'm just going to go around. I didn't space these very good, but we'll make this one more of an oval. You want to give it a little bit in between. He's more worried about getting 5, I guess. All right, so that's that. These all in. And kind of you don't want to flatten them. Like I made that one just a little too flat because we want to kind of keep it relatively the same depth. So about 3/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch high, that kind of an area, just like this. And the reason that this is so awesome and that you'll wait to see how it bakes up is because there's no flour, no white flour, no anything in that for them. We're just basically talking eggs. So we've got a great protein here for the dogs. A little bit of cream of tartar, just a touch of cream cheese, because once again, remember, we really watch the type of cheese that we use from the standpoint we don't want to have that, the dogs that are lactose intolerant. If you needed to, you could always substitute goat cheese for the cream cheese in here if you needed to be. But we're going to pop these in the oven right now. It should be ready. And this is going to go for about 30 minutes, just like that. All right, so now, let me show you the cool way to do the chicken. Let's get rid of this. We don't need this one. All right, so first thing that we're going to do is we are going to heat up our pan, basically like on a, I'd say like maybe like a medium high. We're going to let it get hot for a few seconds. And we've got our chicken breasts. And basically what I did was I just flattened it down, just made sure that they were all relatively the same size, especially in the thickness, because we don't want to get one where it's overdone and one where it's not. Season them lightly, a little bit of basil, dry basil, oregano, the garlic powder, whatever you want to do. You can put whatever seasonings you want on this because we want to bring the flavor back into our sandwich. You don't want to go doing chili powder and all that kind of stuff because we're going to be putting peaches and blackberries and some balsamic glaze and so forth. So you'll kind of want to stay in those Italian herb type of, did I say that right? Herb? My kids make fun of me because I can't say the word huge, which I think it sounds fine, but they tell me I can't say it right. So I probably can't say herb right either. We're also going to have our lid. So let's see, we'll give this just another second. We're going to take our oil, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to put our oil in our bottom of our pot, and maybe, I don't know, tablespoon or two. Looks like about 2 tablespoons, give or take. Give it a little touch more. We're going to take our oil and we're just going to kind of swirl it around. Get it all so we coat the bottom completely. All right, so we're going to let it sit for just about another 30 seconds. While it does that, I'm going to run and grab my timer, and I'll be right back. So now we're ready. What we're going to do is we're going to turn our chicken down to medium. Pan down. We can't turn our chicken down. I mean, seriously, we turned our pot down to medium. And I'm going to take my chicken. All I'm going to do is I'm just looking to brown this chicken just a touch, 1 minute. Because remember, it's always a matter as far as cooking slowly so it stays. So we're going to time this to stay this way for 1 minute. All right. After this goes through for our 1 minute, what we're going to do is we're going to place our lid on top, and we're going to set our timer for 10 minutes. We're going to let it cook completely for 10 minutes. We're not touching it. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to take the lid off. We're not going to do anything. When our bell goes off, we're going to take our skillet off of our burner, turn our burner off, and we're going to let it sit for another 10 minutes. And guess what? Voila, 165 perfect chicken, cooked in its own broth, and wait till you see how great it looks when you come back. So we'll let this cook, we'll let our bread cook, and we'll see you in about 30 minutes. All right, let's get these out of here. We'll get these over here. Oven cooks uneven. Always heat rises to the top of your oven. Remember that. No oven, 2 ovens will cook the same. You can put different items in different things, and that's why a lot of times you have to rotate your pans in order for them to be able to cook evenly. All right, so we are going to take, look at these little pieces of bread. This is called cloud bread. And this is, I think it's, I don't know if it's that paleo stuff or the keto stuff or whatever it is. Anyway, all I know is it's good for the dogs because it's protein and there's no flour and no sugar and no yeast, because remember that dogs can't have yeast bread either. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create our own little paninis out of all our ingredients. So we have our chicken. Well, first we have our bread, then we have our chicken, we have peaches, we have manchego cheese, which is another cancer fighter. Cheese they found, I think Dr. Oz, it's something I saw on Dr. Oz's site where they were saying cheese is now part of cancer prevention diets. So that's another good thing. And besides, like I said, we cannot have a recipe without cheese because of the big guy over here. They did a study on the manchego cheese that they found that one of the benefits that it has is because it is a little bit touch higher in fat, so we don't want to use very, very much of it, but it helps with the growth of the bones, which is awesome for our dogs whose growth plates don't close until, a lot of times 18 months old. Like we talked about their walking and what to do with them fitness-wise. Giving them that type of a cheese will actually help strengthen their bones. So we're going all the way around as much as we can possibly get with this. So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually build our sandwich. We're going to actually just build them right ahead on the panini press. I am going to give it just a little bit of a spray, just so we don't stick. It should be all right, but we'll see. This isn't really like spray. It's more like just olive oil. So hopefully that'll be all right and won't kind of get us. So we are going to pick out 2, and we're going to put them wonder if we can do 3 at a time. Cosmos, can we do all 3? Let's see if we can do all 3. All right? Everybody's got theirs, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to place a couple pieces of manchego on the bottom. This way we can kind of get it going together. Manchego, manchego. We're going to take some of our chicken. And remember, make sure that you don't grab those same tongs too when you, like remember when we did our raw chicken? Always make sure that you've got different tongs. Never ever mix. You don't want to cross-contaminate for you or for the dog. I mean, they can eat raw, but we can't. We're just going to stick some chicken on here. And this is great for a 4th of July picnic, you know, where we don't want to have to go with the high hot grill. You can make these up ahead of time and just serve them cool, serve them cold, serve them warm, make them on a nice little platter. Wait to see how beautiful they're going to come out. They're actually going to look gorgeous. So now we're going to actually take some of our peaches, and let's get some of those peaches on there. And you can put as much or as little as you like, so I'm just going to give a little bit. And always another thing, remember, with your dogs, less is more. Because from the standpoint of, especially if you don't know if they have any kind of an allergy or reaction to something or whatever. So we want to always keep it fewer ingredients, and then we kind of add on. We're going to add in some of our blackberries. See, we're just kind of building our sandwich here right on the panini press, so I don't want to make sure I get this anywhere and spill it. Kind of stick them all in. It is a little harder with the cloud bread as I'm dropping blueberry or blackberries everywhere. You know what? I hate to use this, guys, but I'm just going to use my hands. I'm not going to worry about tongs. Much easier. Much, much easier. We'll stick one there, stick one under there. And then we're going to top it off with our basil. And look how high these sandwiches are getting. That's why we have panini press. Top it off with our basil. And then to seal it off again, we're going to put another couple pieces of cheese on top. So this way we have it so the cheese is kind of going through and kind of melting and it's kind of squishing everything all together. And I know Cosmos is going to love this. And then we're going to top it off with another cloud bread all the way through. So there we go, 1, 2, 3. So we actually, our recipe of our cloud bread, we have enough. We can make 2 more sandwiches. We certainly have enough chicken and everything. We're going to keep on go ahead and doing this. Come back and join us to have a wonderful panini. What do we call this? Party panini, pizza. I don't remember what we called it. Whatever it says on the board down there. We'll be back. Welcome back, guys. We've got everything all plated up. We didn't put the balsamic glaze on Cosmos, the one for the dog. I think kind of probably better off just to leave that off. But you can add and do this for 4th of July for a party. You can put it like on a platter. You can make some for the plain. You can make some with the balsamic glaze. You can put some with the honey mustard. Just kind of mix it up, have fun with it. Change up your fruits. But the cloud bread is just wonderful. So don't forget, you can go to empoweredpups.com and you could download this week's recipe. Watch the video again if you need to, and it's very, very simple. We give all the instructions, sign up for our healthy newsletter, and most of all, just remember, always work on giving your dogs some, helping prevent cancer, feed them some whole foods, variety for cancer fighting foods. Thanks for watching, guys.